welcome back to Open. We welcome back our last guest, the dazzling and sought-after violinist in the jazz and Latin jazz arena, Alí Bello. Infusing the violin into the popular rhythms of R&B and pop to Middle Eastern, flamenco, and tango sounds, Alí has collaborated and performed with such figures as Paquito de Rivera, Susana Baca, and Doc Severinsen, to performing live with Roots, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. His credits and talents reach beyond the realms of classical music, erasing the boundaries between classical, jazz, and folkloric genres. His new musical concept, the Charanga Syndicate, is a dynamic Latin band that breathes new life into the vibrant traditions of charanga music, drawing inspiration from its Cuban roots and the energetic scenes of New York. Alí Bello is also a member of Bronx Banda, as we mentioned, one of the featured groups at this year's South Bronx Culture Festival, and he joins us now to share more. Everyone, please welcome violinist Alí Bello. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Rita. A pleasure to be here.
It's so wonderful to have you here, Alí. After so many years, I'm so excited to actually have you here in studio. I want to say, we did mention Bronx Banda because that is how I first met you. And we've been part of the South Bronx Culture Festival from when it even converted into a virtual festival during the pandemic, which is, very many years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm relatively new to the band because I started basically 3-4 years ago. But since then, I've been seeing you and we've been, doing the festival for all these years.
I know, in sharing the stage, and I wanted to open up with that because it's been really exciting to watch you expand into really having a name for yourself. I mean, I know you travel the world, and I know you've worked with all these amazing celebrities, but on a local level, you've been creating this new experience. And I call it an experience because the first time I experienced it, it stayed with me. And then there's also the fact that you kind of have two different bands. So let's talk a little bit about the differences in them.
Certainly. Well, I mean, I graduated and I did all my music training as a classical violinist, but then in college I understood that I needed to explore the other venues and other music genres, and so I'm very close to my Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela, so one of my first projects that I created was the Sweetwire Band, which is a fusion band we create trying to blend all the music folklore of Venezuela with the jazz and the New York scene, kind of like the fusion part of it. So it's kind of we write our own music. We kind of get a spin between the percussion parts and all the different flavors to give different colors and that from Venezuela.
Right, and so in that, that's, I believe, the group that you actually have these percussive sounds that, I don't know what those instruments are that you're banging on the floor.
Many things. We have, those are the kitty plas, the bamboo drumming that, they bounce out of each other and create different, depends on the length and the thickness. They create different tones, so we create a whole percussion metrics of it. We have the maracas, we have the fulia drumming, we have the culhuepullas, we call them, long drums. So I'm trying to incorporate all these folkloric elements and sounds and rhythms into a more jazzy world kind of setup to present it, for
and always fusing in the violin.
Well, the idea is to use the violin as the main voice, it's not I'm trying to also, put the violin into a medium that is well known for.
Got it.
Fusion. I mean, obviously, there's all the violins. I'm not the only one, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to create different sounds that perhaps you have never heard on a violin before, and that's always been my idea and my goal.
Yeah, no, you're doing it. That's exactly what I opened up with, is your innovation, right? Because it's an innovative style, and it works. It works in a way. I mean, I personally love folkloric music, so to have that modernized, or that, I don't know, for me, the violin is almost like it's dreamy, it's romantic, and so to kind of bring the ancestral and blend it with like, let's just float away in life.
Definitely. No, the violin has the particularity of being a very old instrument from the classical area and evolved from the viola da gamba, and it's been always in the classical world. But then, since the Spaniards and when the conquerors came to America, I mean, they brought the guitar, the violin, the harp. So then, a violin became very embedded in the music of Peru, for example, Venezuela with joropo, and then you got folklore music. The country music of the United States and the Americana music has the violin. So it's very, so even though it's an instrument that has been, is featuring many different styles, it still is very embedded within the folkloric of many different cultures and music. So.
Oh, well, thank you for that, that quick tutorial on understanding the history of it. Yeah, because, I mean, when I hear violin or when I think of violin, I think of classical music. I don't think of folkloric music.
Sure.
Yeah, and so, okay, so that's that band, and then now we have the charangas and the...
Yeah, well, I mean, also, being in New York after I finished college, I started playing with Los Jóvenes del Barrio, Los Jóvenes del Barrio, which was a very innovative band, a charanga band. And when I say charanga band, it's a band that it is within the genre of salsa or Afro-Latin music, and instead of using trumpets, trombones, or saxophones, they use violins and flute. And it comes from the old traditional orchestras that in Cuba were developing from the danzón, and then it created the cha-cha-chas and the charangamas were created in order for the social events. Obviously, then after that, then you have the conjuntos and the big bands with more the instruments of the brass instrument, because you were playing outdoors, and violins and flute will not cut it because of the amplification. Charangas bands were for more salon settings. But then that orchestration is still alive. You have Orquesta Aragón, many different bands, and I played for many years in New York after playing with Los Jóvenes del Barrio. I played with Típica Novel, Orquesta Broadway, Típica 73. So I've been having a whole, I've been embedded on the charanga scene in New York for the past more than 20 years. So I think it was at a time where after, creating my Venezuelan music, all the music, being my Latin side of things,
right.
And saying Latin meaning Latin jazz, New York Latin jazz. So it was my time to create a charanga band, and I call it a charanga syndicate. It's kind of like, this is my intake of this style, which I respect so much. I think that's why it took me a little bit longer that I would respect it, because I really wanted to present something that is not just founded, it makes sense, but also it looking forward to bring the style and the band to a future instead of just laying in the music in the past.
Right. And so just for clarity purposes, right? So what identifies charanga is it being predominantly brass instruments, right?
No brasses, violin and flute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a charanga band.
Okay. So, all right. So I did it backwards, right? So
usually salsa band will have trumpets and trombones.
Right.
So this format of orchestration is flute and violin, the main voices.
Okay, so it is violin and flute.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
all right. No.
Sorry, I confused you.
No, I'm confused. I'm over here getting a music history lesson.
Sorry.
So I'm like, wait a minute. Was I paying attention? Obviously, I wasn't. Rina.
Latin 101. This is Latin 101.
All right. So what's really beautiful about everything you're sharing with us is that you've made the violin like the star of each.
Again, yeah, that's right. I guess I'm a violinist. Like, it makes sense. But yeah, that's the idea.
But I happen to love that instrument, and I think it is underrated. So I love that you're putting it in the forefront, right? And so, would you say it's your approach to jazz, right? Because jazz kind of gives you permission to just try new things, right? So how did you decide to, I guess, fuse the different styles that we're talking about?
It's a good question. And a very thin line to, I mean, we label music just because we're trying to understand, and we're trying to classify everything as like jazz, folklore, classical. Really, as a musicians, and I tell you this from the musician's point of view, we only think about music. And especially when you write music, you only think about, this is the music I'm hearing in my head and I'm trying to present it to you. you might not like it, you like it, but it's, I'm not really right in the sense of thinking, oh, I'm going to write jazz, or I'm going to write, Latin, or it's just kind of like, it is what it is. This is my medium, this is what my ideas are. So, but the charanga has a very, it comes from a long tradition of being kind of like that borderline of classical at the beginning of the development of the Afro-Cuban orchestras and that salon kind of setting into a modern, now clubs, venues. And so I'm trying to bring that traditional and trying to bring that charanga kind of old school Cuban style, but also looking forward. So trying to use that vibrancy of New York, the fusion, kind of use the jazz language, kind of use the folkloric, and bring that energy that only a city like New York can bring into the style. So in the 70s, charanga was like one of the main. Johnny Pacheco's charanga, Ray Barreto's had a charanga, Pupi Lagarreta, Orchestra Brothers. So it was that was the popular music of Latin music in the 1970s. So you have this tradition from 1920s of the charanga band. Now you got the New York charanga that was exploded and vibrant in the 1970s. So now I'm trying to combine these things and now I'm trying to make it the charanga of the 2024 and beyond, 25 and beyond.
Yeah.
So it kind of like, so I'm trying to, in a way, to incorporate all these rhythm elements, but at the same time, be original, be danceable, be to the public, and, bring the energy to the people to dance it.
Right, so you're reintroducing it to the next generation to really...
I'm trying.
well, no, you're doing. And I have to share, like I experienced it. I think I opened up with that because I remember, and I think there was only like, it was a 3-piece band and it felt so elegant and yet relatable in the sense of like, I was like, oh wow, that was really different. It was different,
right?
And I think what you've done is you've elevated the experience. And not to say that what we have right now isn't of a certain caliber. It's just, I don't know. There was a different frequency that I was experiencing.
Definitely. I mean, when you're referring to an event that you attended. And we were playing at a trio. Obviously, it was a small event, and we were doing Afro Latin and Afro jazz, Latin jazz. But with the big band, with the syndicate, we are a 9-piece band. So we have full percussion, piano, bass, singer, and violin, flute, and violin. And I added a trombone in it, so to have the kick of New York, really big band.
Got it. And I see you have a CD also.
Well, I wanted to present to you. It came just last week.
Nice.
Alí Bello and the Charanga Syndicate just came out under the Circle 9 Records label.
I
shout out to the
love that
guys
you made a
and
CD.
Yeah, I mean, it was about time. I mean, to me, I needed to really... I didn't want just to put a CD where I record all tunes and I just re-record things and just to put my name. I wanted to really put a stamp on something new. So it kind of, I really thought about this for a while. I mean, it's been in my mind how to, reimagine all these old styles and create a new sound and to move forward. So.
Yeah, and not only that, but nowadays people don't make CDs anymore. So this is really special.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why did you choose to make sure that it was done in a CD?
Well, the physical matter. I mean, the physical touch of it. Especially when you're presenting. This is you have a business card. This is my business card. So it kind of and I know some people ask me and they tell me I don't have a CD player. Don't worry, I'll send you a link and then you can download all the music. But to have the CD, it still represents a lot. And I think. Just the visual part of it, the touch of it, it will never. I mean, we're a generation where I used to listen to long plays. So now it was CD, and now it's nothing. It's just air MP3. So
right.
We
and
still
the cloud. I don't say the cloud. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. So now I think we're still. I don't know. Maybe I'm becoming old school, but that physical touch, it means a lot.
It's special. I'm really happy that you handed me an actual physical version of your music, and not to say you're looking kind of fly there on the cover. All right, look, there's a cover on it too. All right. Once again, Alí Bello, thank you so much for that lesson. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys were listening. I didn't do such a great job, but it was all good. All right, but anyway, don't go anywhere because Alí Bello is going to perform for us after the break, and you certainly don't want to miss it.
Sounds good.
All right. everyone. Welcome back. Here now to perform Didgeridoo Dream. Let's give it up for Alí Bello. Alí Bello, everyone. Ay, Dios mío, pero gracias. Wow, what a blessing. Thank you for blessing our open artist spotlight like this. Oh my gosh, once again, Alí Bello and the Charanga Syndicate is out now on all streaming platforms. If you're interested in collecting CDs, you can visit alibello.com. Mi gente, that was Alí Bello here for us on Open, yes. And he's going to be performing with Bronx Banda Friday, May 30th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. And with the Charanga Syndicate Saturday, May 31st from 2:30 to 3:15 p.m. at the 2025 South Bronx Culture Festival, Play It Forward, happening at Father Gigante Plaza in front of St. Athanasius Church, located at 878 Tiffany Street in the Bronx. And for more information, you can visit casitamaria.org. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rena Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. I leave you with Alí Bello. Woo-hoo-hoo!